secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more Fukushima. No more Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. Shut down all the nukes. Shut down all the nukes. Shut down all the nukes. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law.
No more secrecy law.
No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. Fukushima never again. Fukushima never again. Hiroshima never again. Hiroshima never again. Nagasaki never again. Nagasaki never again. 再稼働反対。再稼働反対。Shut down all the nukes. Shut down all the nukes. Shut down all the nukes. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. Never again Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. Thank you for coming again. It's getting cold, but thank you coming this every 11th of every month anti-nukes rally. Today is our 17th rally, and thank you very much. And I usually review from 11th last month through today 11th. There are so many things happened again. And of course, the Fukushima nuclear accident has not been contained. It's still ongoing accident. As Parliament Congress report concluded that this Fukushima nuclear plant accident is a disaster by man-made disaster. It's not a natural disaster because the government and then industry having ugly collusion, and then the nukes. Nuclear regulatory committee and the industry have collusion. That's a way this accident happened. The whistleblowers, people who wanted to know the information, they couldn't get the right information, so that many things didn't get corrected in the plant, so that when the tsunami and the earthquake came, this accident happened. Fukushima people and the children are still suffering. It's already 2.5 years. People only world, but even inside of Japan, people are start forgetting and exciting about 2020 Olympic. And then the most, I think, important and then biggest event happened was our Japanese new secrecy law has been passed, brought to the Congress, Parliament, and then lower and then upper Parliament. This law passed. The secrecy law will restrict the informations people to get a very limited access, because to know the informations, to disclose the informations as secret, then people are easily prosecuted. This secrecy law is totally against democracy. Lose freedom of the journalism, and then taking the right to know the fact from people. And then yesterday I got a mail from a friend who lives in Toto. His house was raided by police with suspicious of the activity of the anti-nuclear movement. And then his friend was arrested, even though he was released the same day. This is intimidation. This is a total harassment from the government to the activists and people who have great concern about Fukushima nuclear plant. This law will make Japan very bad. The Japan, from this law, soon as this law administrate, the Japan is on the steep though to go into the dark side. So we really have to defeat this secrecy law. Not only we against for the restart Japanese nuclear plant, which is resting for the checking, 50 of them. Of course, not only also against for the export to nuclear plant to other world. We have to now stand firm and then fight to the demolish all nuclear plants and defeat this new secrecy law. Thank you. We have some speakers, so I want to start, let's see, from the, hold on please. How about Richard Nee, who is a journalist. He has some talking about freedom of journalism.
Good afternoon. I am active in a lot of organizations that advocate for freedom of information and freedom of speech and press, but I am here today as an individual. I haven't received authorization or request to speak for any of them, so I'm here speaking as an individual. You know, Ronald Reagan had it all wrong. So did Al Gore when they talked about smaller government being better. Big government is not the problem. Secret government is the problem. Especially since 9/11, governments at all levels have fostered a fear thy neighbor mentality that enables them to seize control of the content, the volume, and the flow of information that reaches the citizens. That's information that should be reaching you and me. They want to control what we know, and they want to control what we say. They tell us they're blinding us and muzzling us to protect us from terrorists. What they're really protecting are embarrassing, even incriminating secrets about themselves and their corporate masters. Their policies and practices pose a grave danger to democracy. I, for one, will continue my activism for government transparency and accountability. The good news is that so will hundreds of thousands in our country and tens of millions around the globe. Peace.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard Nee. How about Phoebe? I can take that.
From here? From here? Okay. Hello. I'm Phoebe Sorgan. I'm a long-term peace, eco, and democracy activist and advocate. I've been focusing on the Fukushima nuclear disaster for over 2 years because it seems to me to be one of the most severe crises that our species is facing. And it's good that we're tackling this crisis from several different angles. It's good, first of all, to talk to our friends and neighbors and inform people, try to pierce through their psychic numbing, their denial, their wishful thinking, because many people simply don't want to know how severe the crisis is. We need to pierce through that. Then it's good that we gather together in protests like this, in solidarity. Another thing that we're doing is resolutions at the government level, local and larger. Fairfax, California passed a resolution last week that is going to be considered by the Berkeley City Council this Tuesday night. The meeting starts at 7 o'clock. It's 2 blocks from the downtown Berkeley BART station on MLK between Center and Alston. The Fukushima resolution won't come up before 7:30, maybe more like 8:30, but I'm going to be there at 7:30 in case. We can speak during public comment for 1 to 2 minutes each. And in my opinion, our best strategy is to quote experts, scientists, and other credible authorities who are very concerned about the problem. Because there was a recent newspaper article that quoted supposed experts who said there is no problem. We know they're lying because the nuclear industry is tremendous and has tremendous power. So they are trying to protect the reputation of the nuclear industry, and they lie. So I'm very grateful to the people who organized this gathering for standing up to the secrecy law. And I encourage all of you to email the Berkeley Mayor and City Council now and ask them to pass the Fukushima resolution that they will consider Tuesday night. It is also coming up in Seattle and other places. And what the resolution says, it supports a draft United Nations resolution that we're trying to get introduced at the United Nations. That resolution would say that this is one of the greatest technological challenges our species has ever faced. Japan needs and deserves help. So it's saying appoint an international independent team of the world's best experts to figure out the best course of action, to implement it, and to work with Japan to monitor and report accurately on progress. And this will be a long-term process. Yes. The Berkeley resolution also says we need to have better monitoring and reporting of radiation levels here. And it says that the Environmental Protection Agency needs to lower the radiation safety thresholds to what they were before the disaster in 2011, because they have raised those safety thresholds just as they have in Japan, which is unconscionable. It's especially children, elderly, and people with compromised immune systems who will suffer by this increase in the safety thresholds. So we have many fronts, and it's good that we're gathered together in solidarity to support each other's work. Thank you very much.
No more secrecy law. Shut down all the nukes.
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 No more secrecy law.
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 And next speaker is Adam Marlin.
Hi. I think that Japanese and the United States government are very similar in the sense that they want to know everything about us, but they want us to know as little as possible about them. And the passage of the secrecy law in Japan, to me, is a threat in a very selfish way as an American, because of all the cooperation that's going to be enabled between the Japanese government and the American government. The Abe administration says that they need to pass this law because they have a new national security agenda, and that the United States is not going to be their military pal at the high level unless they can be really assured that no secrets are going to get out. And the other part of that agenda is to strip away the restraints in the Japanese Constitution that until now have prevented Japan from using its army in any other way except self-defense. In 2003, Koizumi-san, the Prime Minister, really wanted to support George Bush when he invaded Iraq. And the new language that the Abe administration is using is we cannot, up until now we've been using the self-defense forces can only be used in self-defense. But from now on, once we change the Constitution, the Japanese army can be used in defense of our allies. So you may remember that in 2003, the United States government claimed that the United States needed to defend itself from Saddam Hussein because he had weapons of mass destruction. And they put together a coalition of the willing. And poor little Japan couldn't help out because of their constitution, so they sent a little brigade that was non-combatant. But if the same thing happened again tomorrow and the Japanese constitution was changed, then Japan would be able to send its armed forces beside American forces in a war like the one in Iraq, which was, of course, based on a lie and left a trail of terrible destruction. So these are the kinds of alliances that the secrecy law will protect. And so as an American, I feel that the less support the United States gets in its foreign policy belligerence, the better. And finally, I'd like to speak out in solidarity with my friend who Chizu-san mentioned in Kyoto. I was at many demonstrations with him in Osaka. And you know, the Osaka police have a sort of intelligence unit. And they line the street when people are marching down the street in a peace rally, and they all have little notepads, and they write down things while they're staring right at you as if to say, okay, we know everything about you, and don't you think you're going to get away with anything? So they're escalating now, and he's a totally nonviolent activist, and he was rousted out of his room and arrested. So this is a very scary development, and Japanese government can't get away with it. There's a new American ambassador in Japan, Carolyn Kennedy, and of course her role is to be absolutely silent about these things, but we don't have to be, and we should speak out in defense of Japanese activists.
Thank you.
Let's try to change the battery. Hold on a second. Yes.
Next speaker is Nick Savage from Fukushima Response Bay Area.
Thank you. I want to speak about the secrecy law. I want to consider before and after the secrecy law. Before the secrecy law, it was very hard to find out what happened at the Fukushima plant. And when it blew up, when the 3 reactors exploded, all the speedy data, the accurate simulation of where the plume, the radioactivity is going to go, all that was withheld by the government. Nobody could find out, and they evacuated people straight into the radiation. All the people got exposed. After the secrecy law, there will be no information. After the secrecy law, if there's another explosion, another criticality, you won't be able to find out, not in Japan and not here in the US. Before the secrecy law, the government told people it's safe to move back. Now, we decontaminated your village. But the school is still high radiation, the food is still high radiation, all the homes, all the streets and the trees and everything is still too high. The government is lying about so many things beside that. But it's the wrong information. After the secrecy law, in 7 years, the Olympics will take place, and the great athletes from around the world will be exposed. They'll have no way to know what's happening to them. The hundreds of thousands of people who come to Tokyo will be exposed to radiation. They'll have no idea because the government decides we don't need to know. If the secrecy law is only for the security of the state, if it's because they're so worried about China, Why is there no exclusion for the information about the nuclear reactors and the radiation levels? There's definitely no exclusion, and the minister in Japan said this could be used to cover up that information because, of course, we're concerned about terrorism. But I have news for the minister. All the blueprints for all the nuclear reactors, they're all online. All the information about the plants, anyone who wanted to attack, they can find out in 2 minutes. So there's no excuse. There's no reason. I don't know what's going to happen in the next few weeks, but we may begin to see the shutdown of all these cameras inside the plant. We may not be able to find out what's happening with these spent fuel pools when they're taking out the fuel. We may start finding there's no more data on a lot of things. The secrecy law will affect everybody in the world, is the point, not just in Japan. But mostly it will affect Japanese because if something happens, they are going to feel it the most. The secrecy law is based on the fear, as several people just said, the fear of terror, the manufactured fear, because I really strongly doubt anything like that will happen. I would also point out anybody who wanted to attack the plant could just go get a job there. They'll hire anybody. I don't mean to make light of it, but the law is ridiculous. The law is absurd. So let us hope that in the coming year we can find a way to repeal the law. Nobody in the public wants it. Only a very small group of politicians want this law. But the public is against it. So we will keep speaking out and keep making people aware in the United States about this. Eventually, when enough people know, pressure will become greater and perhaps we can do something. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you. 特定秘密保護法破棄しよう。特定秘密保護法破棄しよう。秘密法破棄しよう。秘密法破棄しよう。No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. Is Cassie here? Cassie? No. Okay. Today, Consul Hayakawa has something to do. Cannot come down here, but she's sending substitute to receive our Seigansho, the demand letter to Abe Prime Minister anytime. And then this time, one of the guy, Nick Savitt, wrote, so he's gonna read. Please remember the children in Fukushima are still suffering, and then it's 53 kids are diagnosed thyroid cancer and also in doubt. But this number is not including the checking up for the second group that I heard. So if checking all the second group, the number will be increased. But also this secrecy law passed in December 6th. The December 5th, it's called Gan Toroku Ho, Cancer Registration Law, also passed in Japan, which all information about cancer patient and then those cartel and doctors' information cannot be released the releasing is against the law. So this is another secret law that, for me, we cannot get correct information from the number of the cancer in Fukushima area and then surrounding prefectures area. We, citizens, must know the informations. We are blocked to know those. So not only secrecy law, the cancer registration law, also side by side with those nuclear plant proceeding. Even before the secrecy law, TEPCO and the Japanese government hid all the informations. That's the reason Fukushima victims had to run away to the same area that the plume spreaded. Japanese people didn't get much information because Japan has tendency to hide any information which are not good for the government. Then this secrecy law passed. Please imagine how Japanese society get worse. We are totally blocked from the information necessity to know. Anyway, we should really stand and then against for this secrecy law, and then we demand not to restart any Japanese plant, nuclear plant, and they should not export to any nuclear plant. Here the council, あなたが受け取ってくださるんでしょうか。お名前。
岡田とサンフランシスコ領事会の岡田と申します。本日は早川領事が不在ですので、代理で私が書簡をお預かりに参りました。
どうぞよろしくお願いします。それでは手紙をまず読ませていただきます。じゃあニック、プリーズ。
Good afternoon, Council. What's your name again?
Okada. Okada.
Okada. Pleased to meet you. I'm going to read a letter to His Excellency Shinzo Abe that you can deliver to him. I thank you for coming to meet us. Your Excellency, I respectfully ask you to hear the voices of people with no voice and with no time to wait. I mean the voices of Fukushima, those most seriously affected by the radiation. I want you to act swiftly to ease their pain before more time passes. Only you have the power to take the necessary measures. Among Fukushima's children, 44% were found to have thyroid abnormalities, and there are 59 confirmed malignancies. This is unprecedented globally. In Chernobyl, it took 5 years for the malignancies to show. In Fukushima, only half of that time. These are severe radiation effects. Young people, even in high schools, are dying of heart attacks. And the distribution and burning of radioactive debris from the disaster areas is making the problem worse. There are huge increases in all types of diseases, major and minor. Illness is spreading, but the tendency is to ignore it and to show gaman. Gaman will not be enough to deal with the Fukushima nuclear disaster. Smiling will not be enough to overcome radiation. Steam is not enough to decontaminate houses, and raking up topsoil is not enough to decontaminate the land. The radiation continues to flow out of the reactors 24 hours a day, every day. There will never be decontamination of the affected areas. We ask you to forego the policies of your predecessor, Mr. Noda, and cease to make efforts to decontaminate. Spend the money instead on evacuation for all the citizens who want. For the boys and girls, for their parents, their teachers, the farm workers, and the fishers who want to leave the contaminated areas. We are asking you to help people before it is too late and to ensure that this kind of accident never happens again by restricting the use of nuclear power. Japan is surviving quite well without it. Renewable energy is the inescapable wave of the future. Working with the feed-in tariff, it will meet Japan's energy needs and ensure its continued well-being into the future. Right now, the new Secrets Protection Law protects the nuclear stations from public scrutiny, but it doesn't protect the public from potentially deadly hazards of nuclear power. It may become a crime even to investigate the conditions at Fukushima or other nuclear stations, or to find out the level of radiation releases. We have already seen the disastrous consequences of the policy of concealment when the government withheld the speedy data. Never allow such a horror to happen again. Repeal this law. Already those who protest against energy policies have already been arrested and detained for weeks while lawfully following the rules for demonstration. More than 30 have been arrested illegally, putting a chill on the expression of freedom of speech. Do your duty and reverse this trend toward injustice and release these prisoners now. Thank you for listening.
どうぞ。
それでは責任を持って日本にお送りいたしますので、ご安心ください。
どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。来月もまたよろしくお願いいたします。
よろしくお願いいたします。
ありがとうございました、岡田さん。ありがとうございました。No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. Shut down all the nukes. 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 No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. Save all the Fukushima children. Save Fukushima children. Save Fukushima children. Save Fukushima children. Save Fukushima people. Save Fukushima people. Never again Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. Never again Fukushima. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. No more secrecy law. もし日本でこのビデオ放送を見ている人のために一言言っておきます。ウエストコーストにも福島の放射能がたどり着いてきています。それでウエストコーストの人たちの認識をもっと深めるために一つの小さな市ですがフェアファックスというところで2つの決議が採決されました。それは1つ国連に向けてもっとたくさんの専門家でもって作ったグループ、それでこの収束のつかない不透明な日本とテプコの行っているこの自己収束を 助けてもらおうではないかということ。2つ目に、このアメリカの政府のレベルで海産物を放射能線量をモニタリングしてほしいということです。フェアファックスという小さな町ではありますが、もうすでにウェストコーストでは少しずつ認識が出てきています。たくさんの人たちが外から日本に向けて声をかけていきたいと思います。そうすることによって日本はもっと外からの声を聞き、この収束を正しくしていくことを助けると思います。I just spoke about the Fairfax resolution passed. This is, I think, encouraging the people in Japan also, because this resolution passed because the people who are concerned about this Fukushima radiation and then like to contain the Fukushima accident as quick as possible, as correct way possible, because Japanese government, and especially TEPCO, are not capable to contain this accident. We really need United Nations help, international help. So one of a tiny town in the West Coast passed the resolution, which is a good sign that we cannot just depressed. We have more Fairfax, second Fairfax, third Fairfax, all over the West Coast. We should have and aware, giving awareness to the entire world also. And then, thank you very much for coming again. Is there any speaker?
Can I cover my face and then make it bigger?
Yeah. Is it okay? Yeah, please.
Yeah, I go like this. So I don't feel safe enough to even show my face. And Japanese government, you guys try to hide information, but when we think about it, it's gonna hurt the the core citizen itself. And you might think like you guys are making money. Yeah, probably, your generation. But by having secrecy law and having nuclear power plants, and Fukushima is still boiling and emitting a lot of radiation, basically you are hurting your grandchildren, great-grandchildren. At the end, it's not gonna make it. Like Japan will extinct. Like we have already low birth rate in Japan. Without doing anything, we were destined to extinct within 500 years. Now, given the fact that we have Fukushima radiation coming out, think about it. How many years do we have? The islands are so small. The moment the citizens figure out the whole islands are contaminated, where are we gonna go? And currently, a lot of people in Japan are very worried because of this secrecy law. We feel like Japanese government might go to war with China and try to maybe get the piece of land so that in case Japanese citizens figure out the lands are not livable, maybe that's Chinese land. The citizen might be relocated. And that is not right, right? Instead of like attacking other country, this is just the assumption, and try to get the piece of land at another foreign country and relocate the citizens just to stop, try to control the Fukushima nuclear power plants and disclose the facts to the whole world. And we are going to host Olympics in Tokyo. Think about it. We're going to bring a lot of top-notch athletes from the whole world. We try to invite a lot of visitors from different countries, but we are basically killing them. And later on, maybe 10 years from the Tokyo Olympics, a bunch of people start dying What you gonna do? Government, will you be able to afford to compensate for dead athletes? Will you be able to attract foreign visitors ever again? And this is a moment to allocate the budget to stop the power plant. And this is not the moment to waste the national budget. And you have to remember what you are doing. Maybe this moment as a politician, you might be making money, okay. But listen to your heart. 10 years from now, 100 years from now, your names will be in the history textbooks in Japan or in the whole world, and your name will be identified that you didn't help Japan, you didn't think about the world. And today I read a newspaper article that Bulgarian government is negotiating with Toshiba Corporation to purchase another new nuclear power plant. Okay, yeah, Toshiba, you guys might make money. Yeah, wonderful. Next stock price might go up. But think about it. Okay, we could not control Fukushima nuclear power plant. And if we sell new plant to Bulgaria, if that fails, we will say sorry. Another country will melt it down. And we have already sold nuclear power plant to Turkey. Okay, that country is a beautiful Ottoman Empire facing out Mediterranean Ocean. And to make small amount of profit in terms of history of human being, and Hitachi, they just sold it. And Japanese government pushed it because the government will be able to make money. But we should not do it. Remember Fukushima, remember Hiroshima, Nagasaki? A lot of citizens died. And World War I, World War II started with a law similar to the secrecy law just passed this December. And because citizens didn't know back then World War I started, they just chanted, "Wonderful Japan, Emperor Japan, let's go to war." And at the end, we just lost the Hiroshima people, Nagasaki people, and these cities got eternally contaminated. And in Fukushima right now, the radiation is about 100 times more than Hiroshima. And that's the number admitted by the government. So basically, we have 100 times Hiroshima in Japan, and still going. We have never ever shut down the nuclear power plant in Fukushima. So government, you better listen, and you should think about your kids, your grandkids, your great-grandkids, and hopefully 500 years from now, the country still exists.
Thank you. The Maureen, next is the Maureen.
It is against the teachings of Jesus. It is against the teachings of Jesus that so many Japanese die needlessly due to the Fukushima disaster.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining today. And then let's not give up. Let's not forget the Fukushima people and the children. And we cannot allow for the restart nuclear any plants. And then we defeat this New Japan secrecy law. Shut down all the nukes! 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 No more secrecy law! No more secrecy law! No more secrecy law! No more secrecy law! next 11th January next year, 2014, January 11th, Saturday, we meet here 3 o'clock. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your work.